Right now, your body is preparing for a famine that will never come. It doesn't know that. It can't know that. But somewhere inside you, a switch is flipped. A system is armed. And it's been waiting for 200,000 years for a threat that, for most of you watching this, no longer exists. And it's running your life, not your conscious life. Not the version of you that makes plans and sets goals and tells yourself a story about who you are. The other one. The older one. The one underneath. This is the story of the most successful survival mechanism evolution ever built, and why. In the modern world, it might be quietly working against the very people it's trying to protect. Let's go back. Way back. 200,000 years ago, the world was not kind. Food was unreliable. Predators were real. A single bad season could mean starvation. And in that world, the humans who survived weren't necessarily the smartest or the strongest. They were the ones who were the best at noticing what was missing. A brain that constantly scanned for danger. A body that craved calories whenever they were available. Because tomorrow, they might not be. A mind that remembered threats far more vividly than it remembered safety. This wasn't a flaw. This was the design. This is, quite literally, why you exist. Every ancestor who came before you carried this same wiring and passed it down, generation after generation, refined by the brutal math of survival. But here's where it gets strange. That wiring never got the memo that the world changed. Somewhere around 10,000 years ago, agriculture happened, then cities, then factories, then supermarkets, refrigeration, antibiotics, central heating, and eventually phones that deliver food to your door in 20 minutes. In evolutionary terms, that's not even a blink. That's less than a blink. If human history were a 24-hour clock, agriculture started about 2 minutes ago. The modern world you live in, the last half-second, your genes didn't catch up. They couldn't. Evolution doesn't work on the timescale of progress. It works on the timescale of generations, and generations are slow. So, what you're left with is this. A brain built for scarcity, operating inside a world of abundance. A nervous system built for physical threats, operating inside a world of emails, deadlines, and notifications. A reward system built to crave fat and sugar because they were rare, operating in a world where they're on every corner, in every aisle. Engineered to be irresistible. And this is where things start to get uncomfortable. Because that ancient wiring doesn't just affect what you eat, it affects what you fear, what you crave, who you trust. What keeps you awake to think about the last time you felt anxious about something that, rationally, you knew probably wouldn't happen? A message left unread, a look someone gave you, a mistake at work that's been replaying. In your head for hours, your conscious mind knows it's probably fine. But something underneath doesn't believe. That something is a system built to assume the worst. Because in the ancestral world, assuming the worst kept you alive, so evolution built you to be a pessimist? Not because pessimism is correct. Because pessimism is cheap insurance. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. That insurance policy never expires. It doesn't matter that you're safe. It doesn't matter that you're fed, housed, employed, loved. The system inside you was never designed to detect actually, things are fine now. It was only ever designed to detect, is there anything that could go wrong? And in a world saturated with information where you can learn about every disaster, every danger, every threat happening anywhere on the planet instantly, at any hour, that system has more raw material than it has ever had in human history. It's not malfunctioning. That's the disturbing part. It's working exactly as designed. The problem isn't that something broke. The problem is that the world filled up with exactly the kind of stimuli. This system was built to respond to, except now there's no escape from it. No season where the threats go quiet, no nightfall where the danger ends. You carry a Paleolithic alarm system in your pocket, and it never stops ringing. But then something even stranger happens. Something that flips the whole story on its head, because this isn't just about anxiety, or appetite, or fear. It goes deeper. It touches the way you see yourself. For most of human history, you didn't exist as an individual the way you do now. You existed as part of a group, a tribe, a band. maybe 150 people at most. Your survival wasn't about your own achievements. It was about your standing within that small group. Were you valued? Were you included? Were you safe within the circle? So evolution built something into you that constantly, quietly asks one question: how am I seen by the people around me? That question used to be answered by a small number of real relationships. People who actually knew you. People whose opinions could be checked against reality now. That question gets answered by likes, views, comments, followers, strangers. The mechanism is the same. Ancient one, the need to know your place in the group. But the group is no longer a tribe of people who love you. It's the entire internet. Watching, judging mostly, indifferent. And your nervous system cannot tell the difference. This is where everything starts to connect, the anxiety that won't switch off. The cravings that feel stronger than willpower, the constant low hum of am I doing enough? Am I behind? Am I falling short? The way a single negative comment can outweigh 100 positive ones, non-AF. This is a personal failure. It's an ancient survival system, doing exactly what it was built to do in a world it was never built for. You are not broken. You are ancient hardware, running modern software it was never designed to handle. And here's the existential twist. If your fears, your cravings, your anxieties, if so much of what feels like you is actually just an old machine reacting to a world that doesn't exist anymore, then what does that mean about identity itself? How much of what you call yourself is actually just inherited code? A program written by ancestors who never met you, responding to threats that no longer apply, using a body it has never fully updated? This isn't really a story about evolution. It's a story about the gap between who you were built to be and who the world now demands you become. And that gap is where almost all human suffering quietly lives. But there's something else hidden in this. Something almost hopeful, if you're willing to look at it the right way. Because if these patterns, the fear, the craving, the comparison, aren't moral failures, aren't signs of weakness, aren't you failing to be good enough, then they're not verdicts on who you are. They're just old alarms. Loud, persistent, often wrong, but understandable. Once you know where they came from, and the moment you can see the alarm for what it is, you're no longer just the alarm, you're the one who hears it. So the next time your chest tightens over something that probably won't happen, the next time you crave something you don't need, the next time you feel that hollow ache of not being enough, watching someone else's life scroll past on a screen, remember that feeling is 200,000 years old. It was built for a world of saber-toothed cats and starving winters. It was never built for you. Not really, it was built for someone who lived and died long before you were ever born and somehow still trying to keep that person alive. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're just haunted by a ghost that's been running for 200,000 years and has never once stopped to ask if it's still needed.